Good morning, class. Today you will be learning about the editing stage of the writing process. All right, class. As you know, the writing process is when writers go through 5 steps in order to come up with a finished piece, or we would also say a published draft. And I know you're only writing some random sentences, but you're still following the writing process. You've done drafting, revising, and today you'll be working on editing. So when you edit your work, you proofread it. So let's look at this revised draft. Here, the writer is proofreading her work. So she's editing her writing. All right, so remember that I talked to you about arms and cups. So we've already done revising. We're finished with arms. Today, I want you to work on cups. Cups is to help you remember to edit, which stands for capitalization, usage, punctuation, and spelling. Let's start with C for capitalization. Capitalization is the use of correct uppercase letters. But I also want you to think about using lowercase letters correctly. So remember, anytime you're starting a new sentence, it doesn't matter what the word is, you must start with a capital letter. You also need to use capital letters for proper nouns, and we're talking about names of people, special places, special animals or things. All right, the next one we're going to be looking at is usage. Usage of the English language, or we can think of it as grammar. I've given you editing tips in your revised sentences because everyone has a different difficulty with grammar. But these are the things that I will be looking for. You should know these. We worked on this in class. So I should see correct verb tense use and making sure you're not forgetting your plural nouns, using pronouns because we've learned about them in class, and subject verb agreement. If you're talking about one subject, then you say he sits. If you're talking about more than one, then we say we sit. Next one is P for punctuation. Punctuation marks must be used correctly. So you've already have your draft. You've revised some of your sentences. Now is the time to look carefully at your sentences and make sure you don't forget any punctuation marks, whether it's a period, a question mark, exclamation mark. Please don't forget them. And if you're missing any of them, I've already given you feedback, so you should have that in front of you. But I've only looked at 5 sentences, so that means that when you edit the other sentences, you have to make sure not to forget any of the punctuation marks. The last one is S for spelling. All right, so you have your sentences already, and now what you're doing is making sure you spell words correctly. If you're not sure, if there's a word that you think is wrong, you can ask someone, or you can look them up in the dictionary. That's okay. That's why this is the editing stage, where you are just making your piece better and fixing those little mistakes here and there. Find them before the teacher finds them. All right. All right, and the last one is another S that I'm adding here for style. Style is where I want you to write different types of sentences. All right, so here are the types of simple sentences, but I don't want simple sentences. I want compound sentences. all right, where you're joining two simple sentences, and they can be maybe a question sentence or a exclamatory compound sentence, or you can use detailed sentences as well as complex. All right. And here's Miss Syra's editing checklist, which you can use as you're proofreading your work and put a little check mark next to each item. Okay, check, look at your work, edit it, and then put a check mark. For today's assignment, what I want you to do is to edit your sentences so you can publish them as your final piece. Okay, remember, they will count as a test grade. First, use the editing checklist and as well as the editing tips that I've given you to edit 5 sentences, which you can find under this assignment. All right. Think of cups. Make your final changes. Find your mistakes before I find them. Then, when you're done with those 5 sentences, choose 5 more sentences to revise and edit on your own. So in total, I want 10 sentences from you. Take your time, revise them, and edit them. I helped you with 5 of them. I revised them, I edit them, but now you also need to practice, right? You gotta show me that you understand how to do both of these steps on your own. All right, that's the expectation. Everyone should be able to do that. All right, so I'm pushing you to do this on your own. You can do this. And I will be using a rubric. Here it is. I will be using this sentences rubric, which has a point system from 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 is your goal. All right, you gotta show me proficiency. Now, but don't feel bad if you're not there yet. Okay, I still want you to feel proud and happy if you get 2 points or 3 points, because writing is a process and it takes time. It takes longer for some of you, and that's okay. All right, you will get better over time the moment we practice, and by the end of the year you should be getting 3s and 4s. I will be looking for everything. I will be scoring your handwriting, foundational skills. Always remember, you gotta use the correct finger space between words. Making sure you're using your phonics words are spelled out correctly. Sentence structure, sentence variety, quality, punctuation, capital, spelling, and grammar. I'll check for everything. But as I said, I want to see how else I can help you. All right, so just do your best, and that's what you can do for now. All right, this will help me decide how I can help you. All right, so it's not just for a score, it's not just for a grade. All right, this is to for me to know how else I can help you. Okay, I hope that's clear. Sorry if I'm repeating this, because I really don't want you to worry so much about grades. In these 2 assignments, you will find feedback from the teacher. So here's the first one, which was done, I think, last week. And the most recent one is word choice, right? You should be able to find feedback from the teacher there as you're revising and editing your sentences.